Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 5 of the Cooler Guild. I am your host, Coop, and joined with me is my co-host, Van.
What's up?
We are recording on Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024. On today's episode, we'll be discussing Reigns' match from Sunday, New Jersey against Gotham. But we do have a little bit of exciting news to share with all y'all. Do you want to tell the people about what we got?
I would love to tell the people. The exciting news is that the Cooler Guild is joining the Sound at Heart podcast network.
Bam, bam, bam.
We're stoked to be joining Sound at Heart. We've enjoyed and admired their exceptional coverage of Seattle soccer for years. Cooler Guild will stay on our normal podcast channel, but we'll be expanding to the Sound at Heart unified network feed. We're going to have more info on this in the coming week, so stay tuned for updates. We'll be updating the socials, and we'll have more to come. And obviously more on next week's episode, so stay listening.
We'll have like a link on Sounder at Heart, but we're still kind of getting all that stuff together. But yeah, I think we're stoked about it. I think we might go more into that next week, just because we're still getting some stuff together. But we're like pretty glad that we're getting good feedback, and I don't know, people seem to be enjoying us for some reason.
Yeah, and it's only getting better. And the ability to expand your listener network is an opportunity that's absolutely incredible. So very
Yeah,
thankful to them for including us, and I'm excited for more things to come on it.
yeah, me too. Anything else exciting that has happened with you?
Oh, yeah. So we clinched playoffs, and of course they aren't here, even though we're the number one seed.
You want to tell people who your team is, just in case they haven't listened to the first episodes?
Yeah, so I'm the GM at FC Olympia, which is we have a USL2 and a USLW side. I'm the GM of the USLW team. So we went undefeated this season, number one seed into the regional playoff. And so we will go down to California and play the Oakland Soul in the round of 16 game. If we win, so that game's on Friday. I fly out on 4th of July. Games in Oakland on Friday night. If we win that game, or when we win that game, we will be playing in Davis, California, and that game would be on Sunday night at 8 p.m.
What time are you flying into there?
We get in on the 4th at like 1:30.
Oh, I was like, maybe you could time it right so that you're in the air to see the fireworks.
No,
It might be kind of terrifying, though, to be honest.
I wouldn't be that scared, but yeah, it's gonna be an exciting weekend. It's cool. I mean, second year we've gotten to go to playoffs, and it's always a really fun trip. And hopefully we get a W on Friday, and then bust it out again on Sunday.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring it home. And home is Olympia, obviously.
Obviously. I actually got interviewed for the newspaper today
Oh, cool.
talking about it, which is funny because we've been bugging them for like 2 years
Huh.
to cover us at all. Finally got a call back.
Nice.
What about you?
I've got my broken ankle, so really just nothing thrilling is happening for me. I've just been deep in my Stardew Valley farm still. I got my wife into it. I got the second controller coming so we can split screen it soon. It's gonna be a great time. I did get my Beyonce Cowboy Carter vinyl in the mail,
Oh,
which, like, I don't know if you heard any of this drama, but the first one that came out didn't have like the full record that she released. It was like some other version of it. And so it doesn't have all the songs that we like basically got introduced to.
did the like printing place just screw it up?
No, she just like was tweaking the album literally until she dropped it like that night on Spotify because she just like
Yeah.
she'd been working this album since before Renaissance. I don't know. I think she just like such a perfectionist and always thinks that more can be done. So I think it's kind of cool to have the first one because now it's like, its own thing. The one that I just ordered is like there's like a fold out poster and like a whole booklet with lyrics in it and really cool photos, and I'm pretty stoked about it.
Cool.
Yeah, me and Beyonce.
I know. I do know you and Beyonce.
Yeah. Amazing. She's amazing.
Was Beyonce at the game this weekend?
She usually in New York? She should go check it out. I don't know if
Yeah.
she's going to Jersey. I say this as if I'm someone who knows the beef with Jersey and New York, but I really don't. I'm just gonna bash on it because I can.
That's fair. I think that's fair. You want to get into the game?
Yeah. It was a very warm Sunday in New Jersey. It was like
Scorching.
what was it, like 80 something?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the Reign had to play in New Jersey. Played Gotham for the first time since the NWSL Final last year, which I don't want to think about. But they had a scoreless first half, which was great. And about 2 minutes, though, after kickoff of the second half, former Reign player Rose Lavelle, don't know if you've heard of her, found the back of the net for Gotham. The good news is they didn't give up any more goals, and the Reign they did look destined to suffer another loss, but they were saved by an own goal. The own goal gods came down and helped us, and we got a goal in the 99th minute so that the game ended 1-1.
A third time in a row.
Yeah, hooray, hooray. Another point, a point on the road, which is our first point of the road.
Yeah,
I guess you got to start somewhere.
you really do.
And also, I don't know. I went into this match like they like show all the Olympians for the US nationals team going, and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna go so poorly, especially after what has been happening.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not good. I felt so defeated, especially like 2 minutes in. It just like 2 minutes in, I was like, this is gonna be a long match.
Yeah, I mean, there was that quick ball into the box, and then Dickey was forced to make a save, but it turned out it was offside.
Hmm.
I think that was kind of a relief. But yeah, the tone was set early, and it was not a good one.
No, I was yeah, I was very, very concerned because to me it was feeling like the Kansas game a little bit.
100%. And they did pin us back, eventually a bit in the first half, but we were getting some chances.
You could tell that Gotham just has better quality on their team.
Yeah.
Walking away with a 1-1 draw, I'll take it. I'll for sure take it, especially the way that we got it.
Yeah, true, true. But, they did have some injuries. Some players were
Hmm.
out. Who'd they have out?
Well, they got Kelly O'Hara's out.
Esther.
Yeah, Esther's a big one to be missing.
She's been really productive this year for them.
She kind of changed their whole team when she came in.
hmm
When Williams did come on later, didn't start. She did sub on.
Yeah, she's coming back from injury. Oh, Yasmin Ryan.
Yasmin Ryan was out from the red card, and then Midge Purse is also out from the season-ending injury. If you were Gotham, those are players you would much, much rather have on the field.
Yeah, definitely starters. Missing
Yeah, I mean they
starters.
were key. They were key in their championship run. So
hmm Finishing 0-0 at halftime, felt like there were some missed opportunities, but ultimately it was fine. You go in, stay positive, and then we come back from halftime.
this tone that you have is like the exact same tone that you have about these same things that keep happening.
Well, it's yeah, and it's a pattern that I don't want to see. And they talk about, oh, we just need to like get over that having that mental lapse at the start of the second half. Well, do it because you did it again.
Yeah.
The Nicewanger plays in a really, really nice ball, and Cook whiffs it out of the air, and then McLaren misses it out of the air. And then they're 3-on-1,
Yeah, Quinn was up the field.
lightly jogging back. I mean, that's what it looks like compared to Rose Lavelle. So that's not saying, I mean,
Yeah,
that's saying
yeah,
something.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Rose Lavelle is just wide open and boom. And it felt like, that might be the first domino to drop, right? Everything's just going
Hmm.
to after. But that was it.
Right.
And we had one extremely good chance in the 70th minute, 71st minute. Huerta gets the ball, hits it from Latsko, who comes on, makes an impact. I mean, she definitely changed the game for the Reign.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's something that we've been seeing a lot. Yeah, she gets that ball on that right-hand side, plays it back to Huerta, top of the box. Huerta hits a screamer to the far post.
Yeah, she looked great this
Yeah.
game.
But it hits the post.
That was so upsetting. And it also just like bounced the wrong part. Like it had it bounced just like a centimeter the other way. It probably would have gone in.
Yeah. I mean, Heidema thought it went in.
Yeah.
The coverage has her go, woo!
Woo!
And then, oh.
Aw.
But it ends up hitting both posts. And then, like a gift, falls to Bethany Balser's feet.
Boats.
What does she do? She puts about 30% on it and goes right kind of to the keeper. Makes a good save, keeps it from crossing the line.
She needed to do one of two things. She either needed to get way more pace on it and just slam it at the keeper, right? Or pick your shot. Like it was straight at the keeper. There was no pace on it, and like you got to do better for someone in her position.
She did a similar thing in the first half where she had a good opportunity and then just like had no power behind it.
Hmm.
It's like you're only going to get so many of those opportunities. You need it at some point to start taking advantage of them.
Yeah, it's the same theme that we seem to be having week in, week out.
Yeah. Also, when Ann-Katrin Berger made that save on Balser's kick, and she's like leaning on the ball's right in front of her face. She kisses the ball,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was like, okay, we'll soon there.
It was just like a it was a Wilson moment from she talks to the ball,
Yeah,
gives it a
thank
little
you.
gives it a little kiss. I mean, it was understandable. I feel like she just got lucky that Bethany didn't hit that the way that we have expected her. Can't expect her to.
Yeah, I mean, other things that I noticed, like, so after Lynn Williams comes on, I think having Cook in the back, because she's pretty much our only center back that has any pace, and she was really, really helpful in cutting off some of those balls to Lynn Williams.
Which is good to see from Cook because we all know she has not been having the best games this season.
hmm
And maybe this is kind of one of those situations where we can start building up her confidence. I mean, she was put in because we were without Lauren Barnes. Don't know that she was getting the start had Barnes been available, but it would be nice to see Cook get back to that level that she's capable of being at. I think it's going to be kind of small moments that she's going to need to have like that
Yeah.
to start feeling good again.
Hopefully, like, there's just a flip that can switch.
Hmm.
You find the right one, and she can come back.
Yeah.
Because you hate to see that in a player,
Yeah.
who was making national team rosters, who got snubbed at the World Cup for playing time, but, was there, to see them come back from that and just not really be the same is sad. And
Yeah.
I hope for her as a person and as a player that, she can find it again. Because we all know it's there.
I mean, I've always been a giant Alana Cook fan, so it's been tough to see it and to also be you have to look at the facts and it hasn't been good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone who's been at that level before, that's not like a fluke. I don't know. There wasn't really that much, I feel like, in this match.
Not a ton. The defense, especially after Lily Woodham gets subbed on,
Hmm.
did a really good job of kind of like containing those hectic balls in the box. Because
Yeah.
there were a couple times where, with maybe a different set of players or like 6 games ago, we would have let somebody get on the ball and just smash one of those home.
Hmm.
But it seemed like they were really trying to be first to the ball and get stuck in and clear the ball, not just boop and away.
What an idea.
Yeah, that was nice. Woodham shut down that left-hand side really, really well, and I thought she played really, really well this game.
Which they hadn't been playing her for a while, so don't know. We were losing, then we were still losing without her starting. So I think it's again one of those things where we're just trying to find the right recipe.
Mhm.
But it's good to see these little moments from players that we've kind of seen in rotation
Yeah.
and have these moments when they're not starting. Like
Mhm.
they still want to prove something.
Yeah, I want to take advantage of that time, however limited it may be. And that shows kind of like to me that things behind the scenes are still okay. That's always a really, really good sign.
Yeah, it was funny on the broadcast because obviously there's been some turnover with coaching, and then there's the general manager out in Bay, and Leanne Sanderson was just talking. She's been called out the exact same things we've been saying. It's just like she's like, I wouldn't get rid of Laura Harvey. I don't think she's the problem. I think
Mhm.
she's a very good coach. Like, there's no reason to get rid of her. She's doing the best that she can with the tools that she has, and now they've got the money so that she can maybe go and make those moves. But there's only so much you can get out of this team right now, and
Yeah.
she is trying to get the most. She is maximizing what she can at it. But this we have two undefeated teams still in the league. Like this season and the level that we're getting at of being able to compete with top teams, like there's very little room for error.
Right. And we just don't have the personnel at this point to make that leap.
No.
And, we have to take advantage of the summer transfer window.
Yeah.
And they've been pretty, to the Reigns' credit, they've been pretty vocal about that need.
Yeah. They're not trying to hide it.
No, I'm not worried about it. I think whatever players we get, hopefully they're good ones. But it's one of those things where we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think anyone's legitimately thinking we need to get rid of do a coaching change when we're watching other ones happen in the league. Also, maybe some of those shouldn't have actually happened, San Diego. But I would say at this point, no one should be calling for that.
No. And with her record and her backlog of coaching
Mhm.
accolades, it's not her.
Not right now.
Exactly. Not right now.
We're still waiting for her to win us a championship. So, she's got to help us out once we get these roster moves going or people come into transfers, whatever. She just hasn't like ever since she came in, there's just like there's been so much change happening.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that she's like loyal to this club and in the city. That's something
Yeah.
that you can't find everywhere. Something to appreciate and stuff like that is I think what gives people like her the reputation that she has and why players want to come play for her.
I mean, the idea behind the name of our podcast comes from her. So
Exactly. Yep. Shout out Laura. Okay, do we have any players that you think were standouts?
Huerta.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to mention mostly that she had a bun.
Yeah, it was a change. We're trying everything. They're trying everything they can.
And it worked.
It worked. She played really,
She
really
did play
well.
well. I'm still wait. We need some assists, man. She's like sitting on that. She's got a lot of assists for like the league, and I want to.
She's tied.
Yeah,
She's tied for most
we
assists.
need to keep it going. We need to get lock that down because if she goes on a big run with assists again, like she did like what 2 years ago, she could
Mhm.
hold that lead for a long time.
I think I would bet on this. The game where she gets her record-breaking assist is the game that Laura Harvey gets her 100th win.
All right, we'll see if that happens. I think there's a good possibility. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about why you thought she played well?
She good passing. Her crosses are looking good. It's the same stuff I feel like we've been seeing the last several games. Maybe it was just the bun. I think the aerodynamic of the bun, I think was really just selling me on like another level of like this is real business.
She really brought it today with that bun.
I don't know. I feel like we've talked about how she's just kind of getting back to that vintage Huerta.
hmm
And it's nice to see her linking up with Boats. I just need Boats to finish what she's laying in.
Yeah.
And I know Hyde Up, I don't know. It's fun to see that the chemistry, I would say, interchangeable players, right? Because it's like you've got Boats and Hyde Up at the top, right? And you've got where to laying those balls in if she go far post or if she try to lay it out for Boats. I think her and Haidema, if we can get that connection going more. I feel like anytime I see Haidema, I'm just like, we need to be capitalizing on her height more.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, like getting those dangerous balls in with her running on. Like the 2 goals we scored at KC. She made those runs and she got the delivery. So
I feel like we could make our entire game plan sometimes just with Haidema.
I mean, you could try.
I mean, even if she's just
what's to lose
yeah,
at this
I
point?
mean, she could just be a distraction sometimes, even. I feel like there's so much like I don't. She's so young. I always forget how young she is.
Yeah, maybe she needs a bun.
You know what? I'll let her know. We'll go from the gayest team in the league to the I don't know a good word is for bunniest,
Bunnest.
the bunnest team in the league.
Most bunned.
Most buns. People are gonna be very disappointed when they find out what buns we're talking about. I don't know. I don't know that there's individual highlights for me. We could talk about Quinn. Quinn got player of the match. Is that who should we segue into Cooler player of the match?
I think we should talk about the own goal or the own goal.
The own goal. All right.
I think one of the reasons that Quinn got player of the match was because of their delivery
Mm-hmm.
that created the own goal.
It was a really good ball into the box.
Yeah, so Olo gets fouled by Lynn Williams, right? Like
Super sub.
5 yards into Gotham's half, and they're like getting ready to go. Ball's waiting. Everybody's trying to get up, and Lily Woodham's standing at the ball, about to take it, and you can see Laura Harvey like, "Get up!" And so Quinn pops over to take the kick, puts a great ball in, just past the penalty spot. And to Latsko's credit, like she was stuck in there, and Neely Martin wouldn't have been stuck in there if Latsko hadn't been. Yeah, and then it just
I think it hit both their heads.
I don't know. I watched it a couple times. I don't think,
Okay.
but sure. I mean, whatever happens, it ends on Neely Martin's head and then ends up in the back of the net in the 99th minute.
I love that for us.
It was very after it happened to us,
Yeah.
it was nice to have it happen for us.
Yeah, we needed some sort of seeing our luck change
hmm
in a moment like that because
Yeah.
that kind of because sometimes it feels like it is maybe like cursed or like there's something going on, and you don't know quite how to get out of it, and maybe like I don't know, it just seems like everything's against you a lot of time.
Yes, we've been unlucky,
Hmm.
but I think too, you can credit a lot of that own goal to luck, but like I was saying, players got up. Players were getting stuck in on that free kick.
Yeah,
And that can help cause you to be lucky, I think.
I'll take it. Especially since I don't know, we've just had so many things not go our way when we've been trying in that same way.
hmm
negatives we want to talk about before we get onto the cooler player of the match?
Yeah, I mean, it's just frustrating that we don't really like turn it up until the end of the game.
Same theme that's been going on.
And that's partially due to the fact that we screw ourselves over during the rest of the game. So then we have to.
I guess one thing, it's not related to the what happened on the field necessarily, but some of my best memories have been at Pride in Seattle with it being surrounded around, I don't know, a rain game, for example. And whatever. I get that they sometimes need to go on the road around that time of year. Sure. I do think that's rude to do to what was at one point the gayest team in the NWSL. I don't know if we still hold that title, but I'm gonna pretend like we maybe do.
The scheduling felt homophobic.
Yeah, it definitely did. Because not only that, but like, okay, so they couldn't go to Seattle Pride, but then they were in New York, right? It was at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't go to Pride there. And then it's like what, 10 a.m. kickoff their time. So like, they're not going out the night before. They
Right.
can't go out the night before. So I don't, someone needs to get it together and look out for the gays and schedule this stuff in a way that makes sense. It's like what, 1 weekend in most places. Just do better, please, for us.
We beg of you.
Yeah, well, you remember, were you there when all the players from the Rain back in the day were at like the lesbian cage?
Yes.
Yeah. And Laura Harvey was there.
I remember like marching in the Pride Parade with the rugby team I was playing on, and they were just like chilling and they had their own tent and they were drinking their
Mm-hmm.
Modelo's and just
Mm-hmm.
like having a blast.
Laura had like a soda or something like that night because it was they had the rain game. You and I. Oh yeah, that's right. We went together, and then that's when we ran into Alex. We went to the rain game when it was at Memorial,
Hmm.
and that was like the Pride match at Memorial, and we had definitely not snuck in a flask of anything
No, none.
after the game. I don't remember if they won. I was drinking a lot that day. We went out to the Rose. And
Hmm.
then not long after that, hops in like Jess Fishlock, Megan Rapinoe, or Harvey. It's like, wow, they're all in the lesbian cage with us. This is a great pride.
It's not an actual cage. They just the Rose has like a block party and they put up like an 8 foot chain link fence around it and then they like charge you like
It's like
abysmal money.
$45 or $50.
It's something
And then the
insane.
drinks are expensive too. It's a lesbian cage
Yeah.
though. That pride party, the lesbian cage, whether or not you want to call it that. Alex and I've always referred it to that. Alex, my wife, we've always referred it to the lesbian cage, but that's where we had our first kiss.
Was it that night?
Yeah, we were both wasted.
The lore.
Let's move on to the cooler player of the match, shall we?
Yeah.
Who are you giving this to this week?
I want you to go first because mine's probably going to be a lot different than yours.
I'm giving it to Quinn because we got what I have been hoping for with that final cross from Quinn. I've always been wanting them to kind of get more in the attack, and we've seen the like crosses that they're capable of putting in, and I want more of it. And the fact that we got it and it saved us a point, stole a point, I would say we stole that point. That's commendable to me.
Agreed. But not my cooler player of the match. My cooler player of the match was not from our team. It was the own goal savior herself, Neely Martin.
We can have two this week because
Thank,
without one, the other doesn't happen.
right? It's like a
So
team,
yeah,
but on different teams.
shout out to Quinn and Neely Martin. They will be going into our Cooler Player of the Match Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, both of you.
I would like to clarify, it's not just Neely Martin as a player, it's specifically Neely Martin's head.
Yeah, if we ever like make a diagram of, who the Cooler Player of the Matches were or whatever, we're gonna if it's just gonna be the cropped out head of Neely Martin, the
Yeah, it'll
top
just be a
top half.
screenshot of it, that ball hitting her head.
Yeah. I think that kind of wraps up the Gotham match. We could talk about Roosevelt and how good she was, but guess what? They didn't even win, so
Yeah, no need. Yeah, well, we go again on Sunday, 3 p.m. It's a home game against Utah,
get your tickets.
July 7th.
It's also the last chance to go see an NWSL League match until after the Olympics wrap up. There will be another tournament happening, but that's like kind of the last thing, which is kind of nice. I don't want to put any bad vibes out there, but it is nice that we're playing. We're not last place. There's one team that has less points than us, and that's who we're playing.
Who also just fired their coach, which was a controversial move that I did not agree with.
I can't say that I look at, I don't know, maybe say the jerseys of Utah, for instance, and think they're full of great ideas.
That's true. That's true. I agree. I agree.
So hopefully they don't, I don't know, sometimes like teams get rid of a coach and then they just like pull together as a team and then figure out something together. Would hope and expect Laura Harvey to be better than that.
Yeah.
I'm feeling positive.
This is stats wise, I think this is going to be a good game for us to maybe come away with some points before we go into the break, into the Olympics break.
Hmm.
I would hope that they, take advantage of this opportunity.
Leave on a high note.
Yeah.
The funny thing is we're playing Utah and then we're playing Utah again for the NWSL Summer Cup, which is new. And I'm hoping that we get to see Sam Meza.
Oh, that would be nice. And maybe Adamas more than her 4 minutes of regulation time in this last game.
Yeah, my guess is we're gonna see a lot more rotation. It's kind of weird that the way that this tournament works though. There's five groups, but only the top four with the most points out of these five groups of four teams. Top four teams advance with points.
It's odd. We can go into it more next week.
So that first match, if you want to go to that, it's the first match of that tournament for the Reign is actually in Seattle, Friday, July 19th, 6 p.m. Go check that out. Get tickets. Other happenings in the league. I kind of touched on it briefly, but there's still two teams that have not lost a game.
Which is pretty crazy at this point.
It is crazy, and sometimes I'm just like, maybe there was no hope for the Reign this year, anyways.
Maybe.
Because everything's clicking for those two teams, and we'll see what happens. But I don't see anyone catching up to them at this
Yeah.
point. And I have some news to break as well.
I know it's
I do have some breaking news. I've been hot on the beat on this one. I know everyone's been trusting me and my only source, me. Speaking of me, Midima, Midima is not going to be joining the Seattle Reign.
it's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. I know it seemed very unlikely, and indeed it was.
Almost as unlikely as it was that she was going to go to Manchester City.
I was a little shocked by that as well. And
Yeah.
I don't want to give them any extra coverage. I just wanted to break the news to you all. I know you wanted to hear it first from me, so sorry. You want to talk about Casey Stoney?
I mean, we can. She was brought in to San Diego and
And won two things.
they promised her a lot and she delivered for them. And it seems that sure, this season she really hasn't gotten what she could out of the players, but I feel like after you win a shield, right? You're allowed to have a little bit of leeway. She really embraced that club.
She did.
She really was excited to be there. And not only that, they have a new GM coming in who was not in this discussion at all. And so the new GM's coming in with no head coach, was not consulted at all in regards to firing Casey Stoney. So it just feels like the only word I can think of is sus.
It was kind of personal to me because you know how we had Clash of the Coolers and she just ripped that away from us. And we also almost always beat her. So you know, I was appreciative of them because Laura Harvey had Casey Stoney's number.
Yeah, for sure. And it was always a fun matchup.
Oh, it was. It wasn't like we were blowing them out of the water. It was just two good coaches.
And I don't like to make it about, gender, but with the lack of female coaches in this league, it seems like a very interesting choice to make one of the more lauded and awarded coaches in the league to really disrespect them like that.
If a team's looking for a coach, that's going to be a top candidate now.
You know who's looking for a coach? Utah.
Yeah, I don't make her go to Utah. I don't. That's going to bamboozle me for a while. I feel so bad for her too. They centered so much of that like new contract for her around like we care about you, and then like when we talk about when Emma Hayes left, she was up for consideration, and she was very obviously committed to San Diego, and that's not easy to find somebody who's like that.
Right.
Who has also been successful for your club.
I mean, it was the same thing with Laura Harvey and the national team job when people were putting her name out there.
I don't know if she was the national team job seems like a fucking nightmare.
It does. I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, if you want to rate, please go rate us 5-star wherever you listen. Subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on Twitter. We're at Cooler Guild Pod. If you've got any feedback, suggestions, something helpful for us to make this show better, we would love to hear from you. The email is thecoolerguild@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want. If you want to get some more really cool stuff from me, it's I'm at the tallest Coop. And Van is also there.
Yeah, I'm also on the Twitter, and I'm at Van Crisp. Keep up to date with the USLW playoffs that I'll be attending.
Another quick shout. We've seen our listener count go up steadily. It's pretty cool to see where everyone's kind of tuning in from because the place we upload to has stats on where people are listening from. If you're not using a VPN, at least someone out in Massachusetts, shout out to you. I'm not sure who that is. I feel like I know of some of these places that aren't Seattle. I feel like I know exactly who some of them are. Not sure who's out in Massachusetts, but we appreciate you. You got any shouts there you wanna shout out?
Somebody in Germany?
Yeah, who's in Germany?
Let us know.
We're curious. We're very
Somebody got
curious.
a Vegas listener, Hawaii.
Somewhere near Hollywood, California. We're going to Hollywood, baby. I got a lot of really good quotes today.
Yeah, you do.
It's the delusion of being up this late. And by late, it's 9:30. I've got some stuff I'm kind of in getting together for our launch with Sounder at Heart. So stay tuned for that. I might work on getting some little decals for y'all.
Merch.
I'm not trying to go too crazy with the merch. I'm a little anti merch personally. It's bad for the environment, but it's also bad for the environment not staying up to date on your soccer team from two randos. Till next time.
We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye. Sorry. I'm crying.
Why? Because I'm so funny.
Yes.